Hello, friends and lovers, and welcome to this year's mid-year freakout tag. I'm so excited to dive in. I was literally taking so many notes for this video, I had to cut myself off. We're gonna dive in and hope that this isn't too long of a video. So let's start off with what's the best book I've read so far in 2025. And that is hands down A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I am a big lover of Adrienne Young. She just writes these books that have a dash of kind of magic in them while also being a compelling mystery, and it reads like a thriller. You always want to know more, and I just feel like A Sea of Unspoken Things truly knocked it out of the park. I'm just thinking about it now and thinking about all the feelings I had while I was reading it, and truly, she's incomparable. She is talented. I'm just blown away. Next, we have my favorite sequel from the first half of the year, and that is going to be Wild and Wrangled by Miss Lila Sage. This is a small town cowboy romance series, and this is the last book in the series, but they have a breakup that, was kind of tumultuous, and while you're reading the book, you're being fed little tidbits over the span of the book of to why they originally broke up, and it also shows how they're coming back together. I was in the angst of it all, and I believed in them, and I am so excited that she's now going to write paranormal romance next. And so I want to see how I feel about that. And that's coming in the back half of 2025. And number 3, is there a release that you haven't read yet, but you're really excited to? Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. I still haven't read that. And honestly, her last few releases have really just solidified in me that she's an author I'm going to read long term, because I feel like she really understands how to make you feel invested in not only each individual in the romance, but also in the romance itself. I also want to get to Flight of the Fallen by Hannah Lee. Not to spoil my future book haul, but I went to a signing with Hannah Lee, and I absolutely was blown away by the first book in the series, which was Road to Ruin, and it was an easy 5-star for me. This is an MFF, like dystopian Mad Max fantasy science fiction type deal. There is dinosaurs, there are cool motorbikes. There is everything that I love in a book. And then, of course, I want to get to One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. If you're not familiar with Carly Fortune, her bread and butter is angsty emotional romances set by a body of water. It's so specific, but every summer I feel like I can't feel like it's truly kicked off summer romance season until I have read a Carly Fortune. So I need to get to this. And then, of course, we have by Miss Allie Hazelwood, Problematic Summer Romance, which again, I feel like I'm going to feel right in the thick of it once I get to both of those. Number 4, what is your most anticipated book for the second half of the year? For sure, 2 immediately came to mind, and that is, they're both coming out next month. So, Jasad Crown, this is a true fantasy enemies to lovers. They genuinely have a reason, like personally to dislike each other, but also historically to dislike each other. And so you just feel like the pull of both of them so hard. And if you haven't read the first book in this series yet, you are doing yourself a disservice, because it is so good. It is exactly the enemies to lovers that you want, and you are missing out. Go read it. And then I am, of course, looking forward to A Theory of Dreaming by Ava Reid. Last year, A Study of Drowning was my favorite book of the year. And so I just know that this book is truly going to be life-changing. It is going to capture me. This is a true dark academia, gothic vibed story, and I just felt like I was in it. I could feel the atmosphere. I felt like the setup was flawless. I could just picture the world around the characters so vividly. I was in the story. Number 5, what was my biggest disappointment for this year? There was a few. So I feel like the biggest one was Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This was bad. It was bad. I did a vlog on it. You can watch it. There's just nothing going for this book. I truly do not know where the 5 stars are coming from, because even I feel like I can give the benefit of the doubt to a lot of stories for being fun. This just wasn't even fun because it was so poorly constructed that I couldn't get past it. And then I also had, this was a true disappointment because I really enjoyed the book. But this is Love in Focus by Lila Lee. And there was internalized biphobia in this that was just kind of gross to read. And it just is never confronted or never thought of again. It was just given like it was fact. Just really a bummer for me. And then I also have Pole Position by Rebecca Caffrey. And this book has set up a great rivals to lovers sports romance. And then in the back half, just totally stutter steps all of the pacing. And so you lose all of the angst, all of the drive to keep going forward because it just lets you down every step of the way. You keep thinking like, okay, maybe they're going to bring it back. They never do. Number 6, what is your biggest surprise so far of 2025? And mine was Darkest Sins by Neva Ache. This was just exactly what I want in a mafia romance. It has a hitman who is discovering being a normal person for the first time while he's falling in love. I'm still thinking about when he went and stole parsnips thinking they were parsley to give to her. He is weirdly wholesome for a hitman. I love him. 7, a book that made me cry, and this was The Professional by Kresley Cole. This was my first Kresley Cole, and I got so invested in both these characters and the story it was telling. And honestly, it was brutal. There was parts in this where I was like, I can't believe they did this in a romance book. But then the angst and the tension between the characters, it's so good. Number 8, a book that made me happy. So this is just going to be my Sarah Blue appreciation question, because I feel like the happiest I've been this year was from A Marriage Hex and Mile High Heat by Sarah Blue. Both these books just really solidified to me that she's truly an author that can write fun stories while also having you be invested in the romance. So I don't know. They were just they really stand out to me. And I think I was just smiling the whole way through. 9, favorite new author. For me, I really need to have read multiple books from an author. 2 of these authors, I read the first book last year, and then this year I read another one and it kind of solidified. And then another one, I've read 2 books this year. So the first one is Ella Fields. I went back and reread the first book I read from her because I knew that I needed an angst-filled romantasy that only Ella Fields can deliver. She truly, I think, is the queen of romantasy angst. If you want to feel something and you want to have a really fast page turner, look no further. Ella Fields is here for you. And of course, we have Tara DeWitt. This year, I read The Co-op, an easy 5 stars. It is a home renovation set romance with second chance. And I just loved it. She's amazing. And then, of course, I have Peyton Corinne, who wrote Unsteady and Unloved. And I just feel like she really knows how to write a super emotional sports romance that I feel connected to, while also having all of the characters like firmly cemented in my mind. And then we have new favorite character. So I had a few that I wanted to mention. So of course we have Freddie from Unloved. He is just such a vulnerable and caring person who is basically seen as only being like this fuckboy, but he truly just has so much depth to him. And as you read that book and you uncover more and more about him, I cared for him so deeply. And I literally just wanted to give him a hug. And then I had both King and Hans, and they're from the Alliance series by S.J. Tilley. They're both mafia men, and I just think they're the perfect mafia men for me. I was truly obsessed with them. And then taking a note from Riley Marie's mid-year freakout tag, I also added the question of new favorite couple. So, of course, we have the couple from Unloved. Like I said, not only was Freddie raw and vulnerable, I felt like also his romantic interest was, and I truly just like, I don't know. They live in my heart. I feel like they're the couple that I'm honestly thinking about the most this year. And then we have Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. I love these two. Dusty is everything. This man and his crop top deserve the world. And then I also have the couple from Fable for the End of the World by Ava Reed. This is a ode to the Hunger Games, and these characters have so much depth to them while also being in a world that's truly harsh to survive. And then the last question is books I need to read by the end of the year. And honestly, I have one goal. I'm going to be very easy on myself. I have one goal, and that is to finish reading Ava Reed's backlist. So I still have Lady Macbeth and The Wolf and the Woodsman on this list. She has quickly cemented herself as one of my favorite authors. I want you guys to eventually, when you hear Ava Reed, I want you to think of Jana. I want us to be synonymous with each other. So I need to get to her backlist because I know I'm absolutely going to love these books. She just truly writes what I want to read. So that's my one hope for the rest of the year. We're going easy on me. I know I'm going to read hopefully 100 more books this year, but to be kind to myself, just these two, and I would be so pleased with my 2025 reading. So let me know what your favorite book of the year is so far. But as always, thank you so much for watching.